Hello everyone. Back with another episode of She Renovates. And today's topic is, should I be considering renovating in 2024? And so how I thought I'd come at this is really talking about where I see the opportunities are for renovators and associated strategies in Australia in 2000 and, well, moving forward from now. I always get very excited about a new year because it's sort of like, you turn over a new leaf and you've got an opportunity to get better and new projects, new ideas, and more opportunities for fun. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And I have actually put together some slides because what I'm going to do is share with you some of the information that has informed the things I'm going to share with you now, so that you understand where I get my information from. And as always, it's always essential that you take this as general and not personal advice, and you get, before you take action, that you get advice specifically for your circumstances, and so that you manage the risk and you maximise your return. Lovely to see you, beautiful Ali Jurek. Thank you for saying hello. It's always nice to know that there's someone on the other end of this. I know that there are lots of people that watch it, but not many people actually comment. And I hope you can't hear the coffee machine in the background. But anyhow, we're going to move on regardless. So, Mikey, can I have my slide up? Great. Okay, so as I mentioned, there's a few different opportunities that I'm going to talk about. Now, let's talk about hi Kim, lovely to see you too. Let's talk about buy, renovate, sell, flipping. And so while it's not my favorite strategy, it is, the conditions from my point of view are quite favorable at the moment. And so firstly, I'm just going to share some of the highlights that I've gleaned out of the articles that I'm about to share with you. So home prices are expected to continue to rise because despite the rising interest rates and so on, and new housing approvals are below average. So there is a bit of a dearth, I think you would call it, in supply of homes for people to live in, where we have record net overseas migration. Apparently over the next 2 years we can expect, I've got $712,000. It's 712,000 people predicted to move to Australia in the next 2 years. So that's pretty steady demand. So demand outweighs supply in most markets, so conditions are favourable to sellers. Now, the interest rates are expected to peak with inflation trending down, and the RBA predicts that it won't reach its target until 2025. That's its inflation target. While one more rate rise is likely, the expectation is that interest rates will stabilise soon. And so this is an article from PropTrack, who basically what they've said, to date, we have had growth in capital value in the capital cities every month year to date, which means that we've had, on average over Australia, we've had a 4.3% growth in prices. So after we had after we had the falls in 2022, it's picked up and it's turned around. Now, we don't just talk about capital cities and we don't talk about prices generally, or we shouldn't be, across the country. Before I move on to the next bit, this is another article and quotes John McGrath as explaining why he believes that house prices will continue to rise swiftly for another 18 months. This would follow the 8.4% rebound in dwelling values in the 5-city aggregate. I'm going to include links to these articles so that you can read them for yourself and make your own assessment, but just to give you some insight. Now, I wanted to show you this. This is Michael Matusik's property clock. You probably know that Heron Todd White do a property clock for houses, apartments, commercial. I think that's all, houses, apartments and commercial. Now, it's not an exact science, and so you wouldn't bet your life on this, but it does give you some indication of how prices are going and where your particular area is on the clock right now. And I'm very happy to see that Sydney's quite close to the bottom, moving up, which is absolutely a great scenario if you're buy, renovating and selling. Interesting to see all those areas that were having such a tough time in recent years, like Gladstone and Mackay in particular, are in an upswing. Canberra, Darwin, Alice Springs, Bathurst, Bundaberg, Dubbo, Newcastle, Tamworth and Toowoomba are right at the peak. And Adelaide and Hobart, who have, been able to really avoid the downturns that the rest of the country has experienced, is sort of on the other side of the peak, and same with Brisbane and Central Coast. Now, as I said, be wary of, take this with a grain of salt, because when you watch these, you find that your area is up, down and all over the place. But it just gives you some sense of where we are in the cycle. So my thing is that I think the conditions are quite favourable for that buy, renovate and sell strategy. Now, if you're wanting to grow a portfolio, they're also really good, and I'm sure you're aware of this, that the vacancy rates are at an all-time low, and rental yields have been really sharply increasing, but they seem to have eased off a bit. But it's a great time to own an investment property or several. Now, the strategy that I think is the best strategy if you're wanting to grow a portfolio is the micro development strategy. And the main reasons that I think that's so is because, one, you are ending up with new property. And much as all as I am an advocate for renovating, I think when you are renting out, nothing beats new for a whole lot of reasons. It's low maintenance, that you don't have so many issues with it. You've got high depreciation and so on. But the other thing about micro development is that you are able to get your property at a wholesale price. So by renovating and selling the house on an existing block, it enables you to get your land for next to nothing. And that will increase your equity in the property significantly. So I've done the demo before where you can basically produce an investment property with 30% equity and none of your own money in it. So you can revalue and get your money out. So a really great strategy if you're wanting to grow a portfolio. It is also a buy, renovate and sell strategy, but it just has a longer timeline. And some flippers are very impatient and they want their profit now, and so often don't go for that strategy. Now, it's also a good time for the Avo Smash strategy because of the fantastic, oh my gosh, I've got the wrong article here. Oh no, I haven't, sorry. because of the fantastic first home buyer incentives. Now, I think it was episode 224. I'll check that and I'll make sure it's right in the show notes. I interviewed Nick and Louise Lucas. Nick actually bought his first property using those incentives. So I think he got into his first property with about 30,000 and was able to do a reno and increase the property value by 150,000 after tax. So if you have young people in your life that you want to help to get started, you might be considering lending them some equity. You don't even have to give it to them. But, you look at Nick, he's got 150,000 in equity under his belt as a result of borrowing some equity from his mum. So, and there's also some great incentives where, sorry, I just can't remember the details, but where friends and siblings and other family members can get, buy property together and get the advantage of those incentives. Now, the next one I want to talk about is planting a money tree. Now, for those of you who don't know, that's my expression for getting some form of income out of your home, whether that be it might be a studio or it might be a granny flat out the back. It's definitely a strategy that I absolutely love and use myself. And because they're quite easy to manage, and it's the cheapest investment property you'll ever have because it's built on your own block. And there was this article, I think this was CoreLogic, that talked about all the untapped potential. They identified 655 sites suitable for construction of a granny flat, offering a solution to ease the housing shortage across Australia. And so, and often you can even do a granny flat under main roof, which gives you economies against building a freestanding one. So you might be an empty nester, you've got spare rooms, you might be able to create a studio under your main roof with a bathroom and a way for someone to live there independently, independent access, so it's not going to impose on your life. And so it costs you next to nothing to do, and then you're able to derive an income from that. So, rent it out to someone who needs to be living locally for their work or whatever. Think about, do you have the potential for a granny flat? I know, I think it was last year, Brisbane relaxed its laws around granny flats because you weren't allowed to rent them out, but now you are. Now, interest rates. Now, this is an interesting one. So interest rates have gone up significantly. I often think about when we were doing projects early in the 90s, when interest rates were up 16, 17, even up to 20%. I actually don't know how we did it, to be honest. But because I guess we didn't have such big loans, but interest rates have been a source of pain, and they've really highlighted the fact that a big mortgage is an absolute noose around your neck. It will really hold you back from building your dreams. And so on Monday, we had our She Renovates annual event. And one of the things that I talked about is how to renovate your way out of your mortgage. And in fact, we've got at least 4 Wonder Women doing that right now. So they're renovating their way out of their mortgage. Sometimes you can do it in just one project. I had James on recently about his renovation. That's exactly what he's doing. I shared on Monday how he has the opportunity to um, be able to eliminate around 700,000 in mortgage just doing that renovation. But what I'm going to do is actually organise for everyone to get the recordings for those from those presentations that we covered at She Renovates 2023. And this is the one that I did called Wealthy and Mortgage Free, How to Unearth the Gold Beneath Your Roof. And so really, if you have got a big mortgage, I can suggest that you go and watch that because it's not only debilitating, it has an impact on your relationship. It has an impact on your ability to grow wealth moving forward. So definitely go and look at that and get some ideas on what you might be able to do. So as I mentioned, those recordings we're hoping will be ready. Well, we're working to get them ready for in the next couple of days to be able to release them. And you will have 7 days in order to watch those recordings. So you've got free access for 7 days. And when that's over, they will go into our Freedom Project, which is our membership, and also Wonder Women will have access to them. Now, the other thing that you can do when you have access to those recordings is go into the competitions. We've got some amazing prizes in there. Now, originally I was going to draw the prizes at the end of the day, but I decided they were too amazingly good to have such a short lead time. So we've got a week for you to be able to go into those competitions. You can go in as many times as you like, so go for it. And I'll just go through some of the prizes. So David, our architect, has donated a renovators concept session. So you can get him to do a concept for your renovation. Just take your floor plans to him, and it's a collaborative process. So that's valued at $7.95. Christina Lumsden, who is a Wonder Woman, has donated her course, which is the Elevated Instagram course, where she teaches you how to use Instagram to market your Airbnb listing, but it might be your renovation or your business, whatever it is. That's valued at $9.99. Jane Lynch of Property Styling School is sharing her she's offered one place in her DIY styling to sell course. Now, DIY styling is really important because it enables you to hold the property for longer. When you pay for styling, you might pay $5,000 for someone to style your property. And if your property isn't sold by the end of the contract period, then you're having to either pay more or try and sell it with no styling, which is never a good thing. So by having it styled yourself and owning the furniture, it enables you to list it on short-term rental, to prolong the period, which when you're buy, renovating and selling is an important safeguard. And so her course is valued at $9.99, so you can go into the competition to win that. And then there is Christina Reed. So all these people did sessions, so you'll be able to see the session in the replays, and her session was on mood boarding. I'm probably mentioned that Christina did the mood boards for my renovation, and it's the first time I've outsourced that, and I absolutely love the concept she's come up with. And so it's definitely going to add a level of sophistication to my reno, so you can go in and in to win that. And if you want to, and also we've got we're giving away a subscription to your favorite magazine, design magazine. Now, all the details of how to enter these competitions will be in the magazine that accompanies the replays. So you can download this magazine. It will give you a whole lot of information about the prizes and how you can actually go in and win them. And you can go into every single competition and increase your chances a lot. And the last thing I want to say is that the Wonder Women Diamond program we're taking applications for it right now. So it's my inner circle of renovators that I work closely with to achieve their goals. So there's two sides to this program. One, it's achieving their goals, but they're also my compass to help me guide our community to make sure that we're actually really moving the needle as far as the women that we serve and women in general. So we're really interested in improving the financial situation of women, full stop. So we kick off the year. So this is for 2024, but we kick off the year with a boardroom in 2023. And we do this so everyone is ready to go the minute the new year starts. If you wait until 2024 to start planning, the year's half over before you've got going. So once again, the details if you're interested in joining the Diamond Group, you can just send an email. And we have we have an amazing offer on at the moment. So while you'll start immediately, the Diamond year starts in the new year. So you're getting a few extra months in your membership, and also we are offering a very large bonus. And the reason we're doing that is because personally, I am reducing the number of programs that I am going to be running, mainly just to give me more bandwidth, and my focus is on Diamond. So I want as many of our community in that Diamond program as possible, because it's not just about me, it's about the people in there. And we've got some incredible leaders in our community who are an amazing support. We've also got amazing expertise. We've got town planning, property styling, interior designers, you name it. So so if you've been thinking about it, now is the time, because it is an amazing offer. So that's it for me for today. I'm really interested in what you think you might want to do in 2024. So drop your ideas in the comments below. If you're watching the replay, great. But other than that, that's all I've got to share with you today. Looking at myself in the video, oh my gosh, sometimes I can see in my face that I've had a big week. So yeah, but I'm here anyway, because 90% of success is showing up. So we show up regardless. Thank you, Ali. Yeah. So Mikey, I reckon we're done.